isn't it a good thing that the Packers went on the run they did with the youngest team in the league, even with those injuries? Like, that's a positive. Some people look at it, it's all negative. It's not. Like you said, we're essentially getting 2 draft picks, extra this year. So
that's why we don't need 10. We already have 2. So
we're
already at 9.
Can't sign them all, right?
Yeah, seriously.
Bunch those things up and get back in the 3rd round.
Seriously, leave a spot for my tackle over here. He knows what he's doing.
That's why he's worried, boys. If we make all these draft picks, Travis Glover might not make the team. That's exactly why he's worried. I thought this was interesting. I want to get your all's take on it. I said, welcome to lying season, where anonymous team sources tear a player down so they fall to them a tale as old as time, as NFL Draft Files put this out and said, James Pierce Jr.'s character concerns are allegedly causing his draft stock to plummet. A playoff team's director of player personnel said he's, quote, in danger of getting dropped off our board, and that there are, quote, a lot of character concerns. Pierce is an elite analytical profile, elite film, SEC pedigree, and will destroy athletic testing. He was left off of the most recent Move the Sticks mock draft despite these facts. One has to assume these concerns are shared around the league. He will have to do well, I think is what they meant. He'll have to do well in interviews if so. Please don't let him fall to the Eagles, is what the guy said. Amen to that.
Right. They do not need another monster like that. 6'5", 243.
Yeah, we've got him. He's one of my draft crushes. I ain't gonna lie, man. We got him in the 14 spot where I'm like, man, imagine if he were to fall, and now all of a sudden that 3-man rotation on edge is Rashawn Gary, James Pierce Jr., and LVN. You feel pretty darn good about that, man.
And Cox,
and Brenton Cox Jr. That's right. Can't forget him.
I mean, guys, we're getting Max Crosby, so we don't need an edge.
The 2 things that bother me about this article, though, and this information is, first of all, this isn't my take that teams do this. Like, this is, remember Michael Lombardi talking about this all the time, Emilio? How all of a sudden all this dirty laundry comes out.
We had no idea about it. We had no idea about it all year long, and he was completely fine, running up and down in Knoxville, no worries. But now
on Cumberland Avenue, man, he get a salad at O'Charlie's on the street.
Are you kidding me? Swing over to the Dollar General on the way back to the apartment? Are you? No way. Like, I mean, yeah. Okay, so a buddy of mine that I get side from.
Here we go. It's gonna be good. Anytime a story starts with a buddy of mine, here we go.
Here's the guy.
He said that he met James Pierce's dad, and dude was salt of the earth, super nice guy. Really just excited about his son making it to the league, right? How can you not be? I don't think that. I really don't think that is super like on point with that, but I guess we'll see. We never know. I'm not running around down there every day, so I have no idea. But I do think that his physical profile can speak for itself, and we've had people that were quote unquote head cases like Carter and stuff like that, where you got people like with issues, right? But what has he done for the Eagles, right? I mean, like it's exactly why they probably said it at the bottom. Just please don't let him fall. What happened to Jalen Carter? He had off the field issues, falls right to the Eagles, and they go on a run and win a Super Bowl. So
that dude was bullying people all year long.
Like that not to happen. Exactly.
You ever think these guys like intentionally have off the field issues so they
to fall to a good team?
Yeah.
And they're like, hey man, I can go to Philly.
It's not checkers, baby. Emilio, you said you're not running around down there much. You mean you're not streaking through the quad and into the gymnasium?
No. But everybody's doing it, so I don't know why.
Ready to go.
I think KFC's still open.
Yeah. Wow, looks cold in here, Rusty. What's up with that?
You think Calhoun's is still open? Or the Tennessee Grill. I think that's what it's called, the Tennessee Grill. You've never been there, Emilio, right?
No.
It's on the river, right across the street from Neyland.
I need to.
You know what we need to do? We're too close. We need to do this. We need to go set up a private tour of Neyland Stadium. We need to do that.
Dang, that
Let's
would
just
be.
go down there and
I haven't even been to a game yet. That's my problem.
Hey, we'll go tour the stadium. We'll go to Tennessee Grill, have too much to eat, too much to drink. I'll catch an Uber, or I'll end up, waking up underneath the sun sphere or something. You know what I mean? I'll hang down there in the week. Mike Witt with the super chat. Thank you, buddy. He says Daniel Jeremiah has us taking offensive tackle Josh Simmons out of Ohio State University. Don't know much about him, but I like the idea of building up the O-line and D-line like Philly. Yeah, we've got Josh Simmons fairly high, I believe, if I remember correctly. Let me see if we can locate him. We've got him in the 20 spot.
Yeah.
Where does PFF have him, Tim? You got any idea there, man?
16. Their site keeps glitching on me, but I think as of right now, he's 16.
There you go.
94th overall.
Be totally on board with that. Go ahead, Emilio.
So was listening to that college draft show with Russ and Emory Jones. He was saying that out of the tackles, if it was Banks, let me just see, Banks, Campbell, right? He was the one from LSU. Yeah, Banks, Campbell, and Simmons. If it was those three, and Simmons wasn't hurt this past, because he got hurt this year. He messed up his knee, right? Got hurt at the end of the year. He said that if he was completely healthy, he would be the best tackle in the draft. And Emory Jones said that, but he called that Campbell was they called Campbell syrup because all he does is pancake people, and he said that he's mean. He's an absolute mean mauler. So they tag him with syrup. So we might need to throw that in there. Banks is like more just like a tackle, and then he said Josh Simmons, if it wasn't for the knee, would be the best tackle in the draft.
My knee.
I like it. As soon as you said syrup, all I could think about was that Ron Burgundy video we watched the other night.
Oh, gosh.
I pleasured myself to Mrs. Sputtersworth.
She can get it.
Oh, no.
Bing, bang, boom.
Bing, bang, boom.
Oh, thank you for the
I mean,
super
chill
chat,
out,
Mark.
man.
We appreciate you. This water is hitting different than I'm just telling you, boys. This isn't water, I promise. Look, that's water. Oh my gosh.
No, I mean, it
Straight
feels like a
vodka.
shin.
Oh,
It
God.
feels like a shin is what it is. So
To put a bow on the whole James Pierce Jr. thing, though, the point I want to make, there is zero details in that. You notice that?
yeah,
Like, it's not he did this or it was rumored to do that. It was just simply, we're going to take him off. We might take him off our board.
yeah.
He has,
Hey, Cole, who reported it? Right? It's like,
Right.
dude, come on, yeah. Where are we
There's no-
finding that stuff?
there's no,
Sit your butt outside.
there's anonymous sources, and there's no detail as to what it was he did wrong. Like, what are we even doing here? So,
Mhm.
and the best thing he can do is not try to defend himself. Keep your mouth shut. Go to the combine, kick everybody's ass in every drill, and just
Because all that's going to matter is who you talk to and meet at the combine and behind the scenes and everything that we don't ever get to see. Like all that interaction in between, like fine. And then those teams will be like, all right, fine. Yeah, no, he does have character issues, blah, 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 blah. You can say that all you want. All right, drop to me at 25, please. Like, yeah, dude's got character issues. I talked to him at the combine. Problem. Like,
and if you go through the interviewing process, if I were in his shoes and a team asked me, hey, what about these personal issues you got? I'd say, what personal issues? And they go, well, I mean, there's rumors of this. And I go, I don't focus on social media. I don't have a social media presence. I'm on ball.
Yep.
Watch them. Okay, check it up the list and move right along, right? And then when you get to your said NFL town, you can run around and act like a fool like Jacob. You know what I mean? Do what you got to do. So
That's right.
there you go. So again, anything else you want to add? You guys want to add to that lying season topic there with James Pierce Jr. Good.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen it time and time again every year when it's that time of year and you watch what's the one with Kevin Costner? Draft week?
Draft day.
That day.
Draft day. Sorry.
The best, worst movie ever.
Exactly.
I love it. I watch it every year. Every year I watch it.
About that time.
It is.
Fire up the old Blu-ray.
I thought this was interesting. Dan Graziano said, per a league source, the Vikings and cornerback Byron Murphy. You guys know we mentioned him early. He's not on my latest list of free agents, although he was on that short list that we listed earlier. Okay. Vikings and cornerback Byron Murphy have agreed to push back the void date on his contract. Originally, the deal voided 23 days prior to the start of the league year, either today or tomorrow. Now it's the day before the start of the league year, which means Murphy cannot be franchised since that date is past the deadline for teams to use the franchise tag. Interestingly, they did not reach the same agreement with quarterback Sam Darnold, whose contract still voids 23 days before the start of the league year. If they don't do a new deal with Darnold before the contract voids, then $5 million in remaining signing bonus proration would accelerate into their 2025 salary cap as they have money for Sam Darnold. Upshot here, they still can franchise Darnold, but can't franchise Murphy or Aaron Jones, who also pushed his void date back. So
Here's a guy.
I don't think they would ever franchise tag Murphy or Aaron Jones, my personal opinion. But Sam Darnold, that's kind of on the table with the way he played last year. You guys got anything you want to add to that? I just want to mention, I thought that was interesting because he's one of the free agents. There's a lot that goes into this stuff. It's why we try to temper expectations on who's actually available in free agency, because there were players getting re-signed today. Andy Dalton, Jacob's favorite quarterback, right? He got re-signed today at the Carolina Panthers. Would you put that on me?
Just put that name in my mouth. Don't put that name in my mouth. Oh, God, you still have that drop?
Oh, yes. It ain't going
Got them all, man. Come on now.
Oh.
Get ready to go.
Anything you guys want to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because Byron Murphy was one of those free agent corners we were kind of, taking a glance at, right? Mm-hmm. Trying to maybe steal somebody from within the division. And, we talked about whether Josh stays or goes. We still need, between 1 to 2 to 3 corners for depth. So this is more information here starting kind of heat up a little bit. So I don't know. What do you think this really means, though? Do you think it means he's going to stay in Minnesota?
It kind of feels like it, because if they didn't have him in the plans, at a minimum, they're at least leaving the door open a little bit, right? Jacob, you started to say something, I think there. Is that what you're thinking here too, man?
I'm sorry. I was reading the chat. I was about to comment.
It wasn't you. Then it might have been a million. I thought somebody started to say.
I was just saying. I was just thinking that we got to knock out those smaller contracts, or at least the ones that we were 100% sure on. Let's get those knocked out, taken care of. All right, that's to the side. Where's our biggest issue? Where's our biggest holdup? It's got to be with Sam Darnold. Are we going to sign him or not? Are we gonna keep running with that or not? If you want to wait till the end, fine. You still have some time to work it. On the Vikings end before it gets out into the public. So I think that they still have time to get it squared away. I wouldn't see them. I really don't see them moving on from them. I think they like this so much. Because JJ's coming back from an injury. I still would say let's, run Sam back one more year. And if it gets out of hand halfway through, all right, JJ, you're starting.
Mm-hmm. Got it. All right, let's go to the Patreon group real quick. We had a question in here. I'd like to get this mock in if we can. There's not going to be a morning show tomorrow, so we'll go we'll at least do an hour 20 tonight for sure. But here is Joshua Dodge, or actually Chris N. Let's start with him here in the Patreon group. The questions for the show, or I'm sorry, favorite free agents. Chris just mentioned, I heard the average free agent premium is 20% on top of the market value. Tim, that's what we seen last year, wasn't it? It kind of felt like whatever the market value was, it went a little higher than that in most cases. So I think that's a pretty fair assessment there. And then Joshua Dodge in the free agent chat here in our Patreon group said Kristen Colon played right guard for Arizona, has played center. I also met with him the other week at work down here in Joplin. I think it is Joplin, maybe. Seems like a down-to-earth guy. Not great PFF scores, but perhaps a depth guy who has versatility at guard and center. I do remember him being on the short free agent list there. Not that he's short. There was a short list of free agents he was on earlier in the offseason that we hit on, and it had him listed as guard, but he could play center like you were saying. So I don't know, man. What's your all's take on him? I don't know enough about the guy, to be honest with you. I think, for the right price, I'm okay with bringing anybody and give him a shot, though.
I was just going to say, especially if he's versatile, right? Mm-hmm. Provides depth at guard and center on the interior, which would maybe allow you to forego one of those O-line draft picks and maybe, double dip on the D-line or grab an edge, grab an extra corner in the draft or something. I think it just depends on what route they really want to go, free agents versus, draft prospects. We're kind of at doing that delicate dance of draft and develop and also bringing in, some established guys, even if they are kind of average to, below average guys that can just provide depth. You know what I mean? I don't know much about them either, but just on the surface looking at it, not great PFS scores, but we know that's not everything. And I think Joshua has a good point here. Perhaps he's a depth guy, and a depth guy is 10 snaps a game, 15 snaps a game. You might need him to come in. So, I don't know. I think it just depends on what the approach is for Goody and the boys.
There you go. I see Chalupa talk in the chat in here with him. It's unbelievable.
Chalupa? We moved on from soft taco to chalupas?
Oh, you man.
We need a little bit of structure, Tim. That's why you go to the chalupa. I mean, the soft taco you can lose it halfway through, right? So why not take a taco, throw some cheese in between there, seal that thing up.
By the way, let me just say this. They got these little pull-away burritos, little mini burritos at Taco Bell right now. They're kind of like mini grilled stuffed burritos. Excellent. But Emilio, the other day on the way back from a funeral from Kentucky, this right here, sir.
Thank you.
This it was my brother-in-law. My brother-in-law, big old boy. He's like 6'3".
Oh, I know it. Yeah.
You met him.
Yeah.
He was like, man, have y'all tried those cinnamon delight things at Taco Bell? I went, hit the drive-through. I'm tired of hearing about these things.
My man. Did he get a 12-pack? Did they put it in the Baja Blast cup?
We got enough to kill a horse. We got like 3 bags of those things. And I'm telling you, I probably ate, I'm not exaggerating, I ate at least 12 of them.
They're delicious.
We loaded down with them, man. And what they'll remind you of, if you're in where I'm from, there's a restaurant. I was in the floorboard of the expedition like that right there.
Chasing him down. One ran away from Clay.
Looking for that last nacho.
Oh, man. But yeah, they're solid. If you guys haven't had them, go
Melt
get
in your mouth. What were you going to say? What did you say?
And listen, you can order online using their app and type in the promo code PTA, and that'll get you $0 off of that. So check that out. But yeah, no, they were good, man. They were really good. We were, I tried 2 or 3, and I was like, okay, let me sneak this back.
Like, okay, now I know what Emilio was talking about.
I had 5 points of contact on that bag in the corner. Back there.
I was gonna.
Yeah. Holmes says we're stoned. No, we aren't, sir. You as a doctor should know it's medicinal. Okay.
Right.
Calm down. All right, let's do this mock draft. Y'all want to real quick? We got time. Y'all good with it?
Oh, are you kidding?
Yeah. Again, shout out to everybody in the Patreon group. If you want to join our Patreon group, it's an awesome community. It's way more professional than what we do here live on the show. Just scan the QR code in the upper right. That'll send you to patreon.com/Packer Fan Total Access. And right in the middle of a promo here. Thank you, Jacob. I appreciate it. Just do whatever you want to do.
You just hit the sub button on your way down there.
We're trying
to get to 4,000 before the draft. We're trying to get to 4,000.
Also, go follow Jacob's OnlyFans, all that good stuff. Okay, we're all over the place.
I just got to ask Tim a question. Ben Holden, that's what made me laugh out loud / talk. You said Nacho Mama's in Milwaukee. There's little people walking around in the restaurant with sombreros worth of nachos and salsa in this hat. It was awesome. Is that real?
That's the kind of vibe I need right there.
Really?
I must have missed that in my Milwaukee days. I don't know.
Okay.
It's been a couple years since I lived down there. Not familiar.
I'll remove it. We don't even need it.
I like it.
Way to clean that up too with the PC. I like it.
I'm still learning, man. Trying.
Attaboy.
Say little people.
All right, so we're going to use a different mock draft engine tonight, gents. Is that good with you guys? We all right with that?
I like it. Let's switch it up.
All right, so this is Pro Football Network. One of the reasons I don't like using it, I haven't figured out how to get rid of the ads. So I'm sure some tech guru could explain how to do it on this site, but I subscribe to PFF and all that stuff, so we get everything kind of, ad-free. What we're going to do here is one round. We got all the teams selected, and we are going to select every pick from Daniel Jeremiah's latest mock draft, okay? That sound good? I'm sure I'll screw it up here somehow, but here we go. Okay, with the number 1 pick, he had the Tennessee Titans take edge defender Abdul Carter out of Penn State, okay? With the number 2 pick, he had the Cleveland Browns taking Cam Ward, quarterback out of Miami. Number 3, Travis Hunter goes to the Giants. Number 4, Will Campbell, offensive tackle from LSU, goes to the Patriots.
Syrup.
Don't you freeze on me. There we go. Okay.
Look at syrup. Yeah, buddy.
Mrs. Buttersworth. So number 5 is Mason Graham, the best defensive tackle in the draft, in my humble but accurate opinion, going to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Number 6, Shedeur Sanders. It seems like everybody's got Shedeur Sanders going to the Raiders, no matter how many mocks 2.0, 3.0, what have you. So he'll probably end up out there in Vegas. I think that might be a good spot for him. Number 7 to the Jets will be the best tight end in the draft, and that's Mr. Tyler Warren out of Penn State. Number 8, the Carolina Panthers are going to take Jalen Walker, edge defender out of Georgia. You guys know they've got him listed as a linebacker here on Pro Football Network. Many people are listing him as an edge now, so I'm
right outside linebacker on college football, but only a speed power rusher. Like dude is not a cover linebacker. Do not put him back in there as stack backer, please.
There you go. What's the best card he's got?
Oh, he had a 92 season of the week. I think he was pretty nice for a while, but now we're in the 96s, 97s, 98s. So he's basically a replacement player now.
Good stuff. All right, so this is where it gets interesting to me. In the number 9 spot here, okay, Daniel Jeremiah has them taking Mike Green. So you go, okay, yeah, that's not surprising to me that he would get selected 9th here. But when you look at Pro Football Network, where is Mike Green at, boys? Look at this. Look how far down the list he is. They got him as the 33rd best prospect in the draft. That's interesting. Some people got him top 15. Some people got him outside of the first round. Pro Football Network has Mike Green at 33. And again, Daniel Jeremiah has the Saints taking him there with the 9th overall pick. Next is the Chicago Bears, and Daniel Jeremiah has them taking Kelvin Banks Jr. There's a lot of people that's mocking Kelvin Banks Jr., offensive tackle out of Texas to Chicago. I can see that. San Francisco
still suck.
San Francisco is going to take cornerback Will Johnson out of Michigan. So they'll probably move on from Charvarius Ward, I would imagine, if that's the case, if they're going to go that route.
Come on over to Green Bay, brother.
Come on over, sir. Come on over. Number 12, Dallas Cowboys go with our boy Walter Nolan. Now, if you'll notice here, Walter Nolan is in the 29 spot, according to Pro Football Network. Okay? So he's going to go number 12.
How do we block Emilio from the private chat?
You just got to stop looking at it. I've learned that the hard way. You're talking about getting sidetracked. Tyler Booker is going to go number 13 to the Dolphins. Tyler Booker listed as the 16th best prospect here on Pro Football Network. Armand Mimbo goes number 14 to the Colts. This thing is struggling, man. I knew there's a reason I didn't like using this site. Mikael Williams, edge defender out of Georgia, is going to go to the Atlanta Falcons. That looks like a solid pick according to Pro Football Network. Number 16, the Arizona Cardinals is going to take our boy Kenneth Grant. Now, you'll notice they have Kenneth Grant all the way down at 31. We've got him significantly higher on our board.
He was the best guy around.
Number 17, going to the Bengals, they've got Jahdae Barron, quite a versatile corner in my opinion. Where is he at here? They got him at 32, so he's going 17 according to Daniel Jeremiah. Number 18, the Seattle Seahawks are going to take Gray Zabel all the way up at 18. That's wild. That's the first one I've seen where he cracked the top 20 in terms of a mock draft. Now, if you look at where they've actually got Gray Zabel here, they've got him in the 48 spot on Pro Football Network. So Daniel Jeremiah is way higher on Gray Zabel than Pro Football Network is. There's no doubt about that.
Higher than us too, right? He's not that high on our board.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Emilio, can you look that up? I know you're busy in the private chat, but can you tell me where Gray Zabel is on our board real quick?
Gray Zabel is let's see. Oh, no. Zabel. It's 52nd.
Yeah. So we've got him even lower than Pro Football Network has him. So, all right, number 19 to Tampa Bay. If they go this route, guys, they're getting, in my opinion, the best wide receiver in the draft, to Terrell McMillan. If they get him, right, in Tampa, bye-bye Chris Godwin, right? Because now you're going to have Mike Evans on one side, Chris Godwin on the – or to Terrell McMillan on the other. Oh, my God. Could you imagine that? I mean, that's two monstrous wide receivers. Of course, if they do bring back Chris Godwin, well, that's a hell of a receiving core for Baker Mayfield right there. You think about it. So, again, that's the farthest I've seen McMillan fall in a mock draft so far. He got all the way to 19. That might be in striking range if Goody wants to get aggressive and actually go after a receiver this year. I don't know. Number 20 to the Denver Broncos is Colston Loveland, tight end. He's the 24th best prospect going 20 to Denver. 21, imagine this, Ashton Gianti going to the Pittsburgh Steelers. That would be a match made in heaven there. He's the number 8 prospect according to Pro Football Network. And again,
if he drops that far though, dude, could you imagine? Could you see like McDaniel not taking him like for Miami or something like that, or even the Cowboys, anybody like that? I feel like he's going to be closer to the 10 range.
No, I'm with you, man. Dallas, Miami makes all the sense in the world. Trying to think of another team that needs a good – many people said Chicago. I see that too. I could see him going to Chicago.
Carolina. I mean, Carolina needs everyone.
Yeah, that's true.
They need a new janitor too, man. They got the whole damn organization is stripped now. Number 22, he's got another running back going here to the Chargers, and that is Omarion Hampton. Okay, Omarion Hampton to the Chargers at 22. So here we are. The Packers are on the clock. Now, we had a spoiler alert from the Super Chat earlier from Mike Witt, as he pointed out. Daniel Jeremiah has us taking offensive tackle Josh Simmons out of Ohio State. But let's look at these names. Can you guys see these names okay? Can y'all see that all right?
Yep.
Yes.
All right. So tell me, who would be on your radar here if we were picking at 23 and these were the names available? The top ones available: Malachi Stark, safety out of Georgia; James Pierce Jr., edge defender out of Tennessee; Luther Burden, wide receiver out of Missouri; Matthew Golden, wide receiver out of Texas; Derek Harmon, defensive tackle out of Oregon; Nick Amanwore, I might have to say the name, safety out of South Carolina. He's the second best safety in the draft. Siobhan Ravel Jr. out of East Carolina in the 22 spot. Josh Simmons, the guy that Daniel Jeremiah has us taking their offensive tackle at Ohio State. Is there any of these guys that really grab your attention? You go, oh, no, that's definitely the guy I would take. And
Yeah,
a
couple. Can you scroll back up on that list?
And we can go
Malachi Starks. I've talked about him before.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of a versatile safety guy that could probably play in the slot for us if we need to. But the first name that jumps off to me is Derek Harmon. Derek Harmon for sure.
Right.
Yeah. I see Pierce, I see Harmon, and then I see Revel there, and I'm team trade back just with Coach Glenn.
Yep.
Okay. So you would trade back in this scenario.
That is correct, Clayton.
All right.
Emilio's distracted.
Rocky Top has always been good. Rocky Top has always been good to me. So
can I tell a story?
I'm taking James Pierce, and he is coming. He is coming to town. Put the G on the helmet, man.
Mandy's going to kill me.
We got Rashawn, a running buddy.
Well, you just sounded like Mandy competed in a beauty pageant when she was she was young. I want to say I had just graduated, and she was like in her senior year in high school. So she traveled to Louisville, Kentucky to compete in this like Miss America teen whatever pageant. And they asked her a question on stage, bro. And it was hilarious. Like, that's literally was her response. And these girls, they try to sound smarter than they are. Mandy's the realest person you ever meet. She just went, absolutely awesome. Anyway, you're going James Pierce Jr. here, Emilio.
Yes, sir. Yep.
And that's what our board would suggest too, right?
Yes. Yeah. Well, that is true, but I wouldn't. It's not because of that, but yes, everybody else is gone. Yeah, because the only other person I would have taken would be Membo, and building that wall in front of Jay Love, and I don't see unless he's down further. Is he down further?
Who, Membo?
I think so. Yeah.
No, Membo's already went. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah. So if he's not on there, taking James Pierce because Rashawn needs a running guy. Preston wasn't it. LVN hasn't stepped up to it, and Enigbare has came back off the injury. So I think we need a 1A or B kind of guy if we're not going to get Mac.
Mm-hmm. So Tim, you said Derek Harmon, right? I'm gonna
yeah, because I assume we're getting Max Crosby.
Max Crosby.
We don't need an edge, guys. Not in the first round.
I love the made up list right there. All right.
No, I like Derek Harmon. I'm probably higher on him than other guys are. Hell, I like Siobhan Ravel too in that spot.
Yeah.
I feel like corner is a little bit more of a need, but I know that's not a tier 1 position of importance or anything. But yeah, Derek Harmon's my guy for sure.
And Jacob is trade back. Emilio went James Pierce Jr. He went with the bad boy. He says bad boy summer. Bad boy summer out here. So
Jacob has one of those each year.
Under a different alias every year, right? Look at this. Read that for me, Tim.
Tim,
That's Max Crosby.
Max
Crosby.
He was the best guy around.
That's the perfect spelling. Oh my God. That's beautiful. Yeah, it'd be hard for me to pass up on James Pierce Jr. too. Bad boy summer, got to do it. But I like Jacob's idea of trading back too. The whole Derek Harmon thing that Tim mentioned, I'm interested now. Here comes the ads, and I can't. What does that even say here? We tried the Stains for a while. Statons. What is going on right now?
Says we're trying to trade for Max Crosby.
I need somebody to Google that for me. What is that ad right there, and why is there not an X that cancels out?
Is it time?
Nobody better recommend another site than me to do a mock draft because this is what happens every time. This show does suck, Johnny B. Completely agree. So James Pierce Jr. at the top. Offensive line wise, Emilio, does anybody? Josh Simmons is in that.
I'm not mad at that. Like I was saying, Emory Jones was saying on Ross Tucker's pod that he has him as the absolute best tackle. And that maybe that's something we want to look into. I'm pretty sure Emory does a board as well, or he's got a guide. So maybe we look into that, Clay. But yeah, I wouldn't be mad at that if that's who ended up with it. I just worry about the knee coming out. But hey, if it's like we're rolling it into another Jordan Morgan kind of thing, if he gets out there, gets an injury, working him in that way. But I'm not mad at that one, no.
If we went position by position, and again, this is why I wanted to do this, is so we could kind of deep dive who would be available. Tim, I'm not against the whole Derek Harmon thing, especially after the chart we just looked at. I think that's a solid pick. Jacob, I can see trading back because you got multiple targets here. Emilio, you're definitely taking the best player on our board. I know that wasn't your plan, but that's the way it falls, so that makes a lot of sense. Wide receiver Luther Burden, he's a little bit lower, right? What is he, like 27 or 28, if I'm thinking right, Emilio?
He is 20. Whoops.
I may be able to find
Lost
him.
him.
I got him right here. Luther Burden is 28 on our board. Emeka Egbuka, they got him at 26. We have him at 26 on our board. Wow, that's pretty wild. So I would be okay with Egbuka. Now, some people say, is he a true X? Is he going to replace Christian Watson? I understand that. I think the value could be good there if you're going to go first-round wide receiver. There's no precedent there, obviously. Matthew Golden, we have a little bit lower. I would not be good with that. We got him at 36 currently. So if we moved on to offensive tackle, we talked about Josh Simmons would definitely be the guy. Cameron Williams, I want to say, is a little bit lower, if I remember correctly. I want to say he's like closer to a second-round grade for us. Could be wrong. Where's Cameron Williams at, Emilio?
Williams. We have too many Williams. Cameron
Williams. Offensive tackle.
I've got him at 67.
Yeah, so he's probably significant.
Oh, sorry, 93rd. I'm sorry. We had him 93rd.
Yeah, that's I'm too drunk to taste that chicken. So Josh Simmons would be the offensive lineman. Wide receiver would be, like we said, Egbuka. Okay. Offensive guard, it'd be hard to take a guard here, in my opinion, at 23. But Wyatt Malum, where's he at? Do we know where he's a little bit lower, I believe. Donovan Jackson, Tate Ratledge.
Wyatt is not 57th.
Tate Ratledge is 63, so he's significantly lower. There's not a guard here that we would take, right? In my opinion. Center, Jared Wilson's there. It's way too soon to do that, obviously.
Yeah.
Gray Zabel's already off the board. If we go to defensive tackle, they got Derek Harmon as the top pick there.
Deion Walker, baby. Let's reach.
Hey, he's slowly climbing up, Tim. We talked about this. We knew it would happen. Told you.
Here's the guy.
Tyleik Williams. We have Tyleik Williams in the 37 spot, so that's a little bit too much of a reach. Derek Harmon, we've got at 24. I would be totally cool with Derek Harmon, like Tim was saying. Obviously, James Pierce Jr., I'd be on board with that. Shamar Stewart, I want to say Shamar Stewart's in the 18 spot, Emilio. So he's below James Pierce Jr., obviously, but Shamar Stewart's in that range too. I can see that. Linebacker, obviously too early. Cornerback, Siobhan Ravel. We've actually got Siobhan Ravel at the 17 spot, so that's another one I would be okay with personally in the 23 spot if this is how it fell. That's all the corners I would be interested in, though. And then, of course, Malachi Starks, we've talked about him. He's in the 21 spot. So, I don't know, man. For me, if I had to pick a player, it'd be James Pierce Jr. I like Jacob's idea of trading back, and I'd also be okay with taking the best three tech on the board, which would probably be Derek Harmon. So, there you go. Mike Witt, we'll get to that in a minute. Let's see what he said. All right, let's finish this out real quick so we can get a screen grab of it, and we'll save it. So, again, he went offensive tackle, Josh Simmons, Packers from Ohio State. I would be okay with that. I don't hate it. Minnesota Vikings would take Travion Henderson. This one surprised me. They got him at 63. That's 3 running backs in the first round. That does not happen often, boys. So maybe he was just trying to get some engagement on Twitter. I don't know. Emeka Egbuka now goes just a couple picks after us. Obviously, he's going to go to the Texans. And then you got the LA Rams taking defensive tackle Darius Alexander. Now, I want to say they were significantly lower on Darius. Look at this. What I want to point out: 125.
Jeez.
Is where they've got Darius Alexander. Now we got him lower than most too, but we don't have him all the way down to 125, if I remember correctly. So that was interesting to me that he would fall, or they would consider him that far down. And then next, Baltimore Ravens are going to take Shamar Stewart, right? They're going to get another solid edge defender like they always do.
Mhm.
That's okay because we got Max Crosby.
Donovan Jackson is going to go. He's an offensive guard is what they got him listed at here. He's going to go to the Detroit Lions. They're going to continue to build in the trenches. I wouldn't be surprised by that. Jahad Campbell, linebacker out of Bama, is going to go to the Washington Commanders. Maybe, who knows, maybe our boy Bobby Wagner is not going to be back, or this could be Bobby Wagner runs it back one more time and teaches Jahad Campbell how to be the mock. It could be the case there. Buffalo Bills are going to go wide receiver Matthew Golden, so he does not fall out of the first round. Looks like Luther Burden's falling a little bit, though. Kansas City Chiefs are going to go offensive tackle. They went back and watched that tape again of Philadelphia Eagles absolutely kicking their ass up front, and they said, we got to get an offensive tackle. So they're going to go Josh Connerly Jr., and then the Philadelphia Eagles are going to go with Malachi Starks, safety. Best safety in the draft. Could you imagine that? Throw him back there in that secondary.
He was the best guy around.
That would be wild. And as Mike Witt says, topic, watching the Super Bowl and seeing DeJean have a pick six, all I could think of was Packers Twitter exploding right now. I knew it was coming as soon as he got the pick six. And what's crazy is if you watch the pick six, the return was awesome. Don't get me wrong. But we make it sound like he just made this phenomenal play. Like Patrick Mahomes hit him right between the numbers with the damn football.
Yeah, right.
And there was not a receiver anywhere. It was obviously a miscommunication or something. So I love how the fan base has kind of convinced themselves that was just this unbelievable interception. The return ability, again, phenomenal, no doubt about it. So there's the full results. Let's get a screen grab, and I'm going to throw that in our screenshots here for the show. So we'll have the Daniel Jeremiah mock 2.0. What do y'all think about that? I could try to zoom in here a little bit for you. How do y'all feel about it? Was there anything that surprised you with the way that mock went, as it's Daniel Jeremiah's second one of the year?
Running backs. I don't see that many running backs going on the first.
I don't either, man. I really don't.
That is true. The only rebuttal I'll say, Jacob, is the smarter people than me were saying, like, dude, when you look at it, like, who are the backs that are performing well? Like, I mean, most of the backs recently that are performing well have been, Derrick Henry, Josh Jacobs, Saquon Barkley. Those are first round backs. Like, Bijan Robinson. I feel like Gentry's going to be like that kind of guy, just an absolute dog. So if you're hoping for a running back to tear it up, maybe you do take him in the first. You want that fifth-year option or something. But no, I see you're right. I don't see 3 going, but I just wanted to push back a little.
I would see, if anything, that number 12, that Dallas, almost every single mock draft I've seen or article says that Gentry's basically a cowboy if he's there at 12. Which
you mean jerseys he would sell?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God, dude.
Oh, it would be gone. It would be just off the shelf. Jerry would be talking about it all summer. It would be everything that it would be about. And
all right. Tim, what about you, man? Anything stick out to you here?
Yeah, I'm ready to trade back, like Jacob said.
Yeah. Right.
I don't know. But then again, like you said, I'm not opposed to going O-line in the first round either. And Josh Simmons is a decent pick. But I'd rather trade back.
Got it. The big thing for me, another thing that stood out was Gray Zabel going 18. That was wild.
Yeah.
And I like Gray Zabel, but I mean, you climb into the top 20, and this is a dude that played at a small school.
Yeah.
Is he going to pan? When was the last? I'm trying to think, and you guys help us in the chat real quick. We'll get ready to wrap up. Is there anybody that comes to mind on offensive line that played at a small school that's in the league right now that's like, yeah, he dominates? You know what I'm saying? Like, Mitchell at corner, damn good year, right? That's one.
What about the guard from Central Wisconsin or Central Michigan? I can't remember who it was a few years back. I thought the Bucks drafted him. I think it was one of my guys. Man. Yeah, it's hard to pick one, though.
Yeah, it really is. And if you look at our board from last year, just going going through. Let's just go offensive tackle here. I'm trying to spot some of the smaller schools. I mean, there's no Yale. Amagaji.
Right. Amagaji.
I say smaller school. Obviously, Yale is not known as this football powerhouse, right? There's Houston, Patrick Paul, left tackle. And these are kind of the middle of the draft, though. They're not like up toward the top. Here we go. Jalen Sundell. We had a pretty high pick on him. Well, he's middle of the pack out of North Dakota State, but I'm trying to think. Did they sign him or draft him? Someone signed him as an undrafted free agent or sign him or draft him. I'm trying to remember. Anyway, so there's nobody at the top. This is now if you go to guard, you got
like Quinn Nelson or whatever. Wasn't he in a smaller like who?
You said Quinn Nelson? Is that what you said?
I thought that's what it was.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, interior offensive line. I'm just seeing UConn Christian Haynes, but UConn isn't like a tiny school. Yeah, and that was the whole point there. Mason McCormick, left guard. He went to South Dakota State. So this is rare to have, at least from last year to this year, to have an offensive lineman at a small school be drafted that high if indeed someone does take Gray Zabel in the top 20 there. It's going to be interesting. So,
oh, you know who came from a small school? Number 79 on your books.
Oh boy, here we go.
Where did he play? Where did Travis
Glover, Georgia State, baby.
Who?
He was at Georgia State. You're right. How can we miss Mike Witt with the super chat. If Pierce Jr. starts slipping, don't be surprised if Philly trades up for him, unfortunately. And I think Philly is going to try to get Warren to replace Kelsey this year.
He meant KC.
Yeah, he meant KC. We got you, buddy. Yeah, there's rumors. Ryan talked about this earlier, right? And I hadn't heard this until he mentioned it, that they're kind of pushing him a little bit like, hey, we need an answer. We need an answer. You coming back or not? You think they might be over those?
Check in with AFAM, see what he's got. Our resident Chiefs.
He's such a smart ass, Tim.
AFAM, you still in the chat? What's going on? What's going on with the Chiefs?
Yeah.
We got you, Mike. We knew you meant KC, buddy. Thank you for the super chat. Yeah, I thought that was interesting, but do you think there's a chance that they're tired of the whole Taylor Swift circus? You think? Or surely they lied it, right? Did you say hope so?
Yeah.
I don't listen too much Taylor Swift.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's to that point. I think that you want to get a decision from the dude. Who were they? They were saying that he's going to get a jacket and all that, right? But I give him some time. But yeah, I mean, you don't want this saga. You got to worry about it in the locker room too. Andy Reid's got to keep everybody on track. With Pat Mahomes being there too. So might as well replenish that position.
Yep. Jacob, is that who you were talking about? J. Cole asked Christian Mahogany, but that might have been him.
It wasn't him. I thought that wasn't Christian. Wasn't he a Boston College guy? Or yeah,
he was Boston College. Christian Haynes was from UConn. Jared Sundell from NDSU. Let's see, he's into Michigan. We had Greenfield from the Jackrabbits of South Dakota State. We had Driscoll from Marshall.
Who?
Ezerim from East Kentucky or East EKU. I'm not sure where that one is.
Chris Ann said he'd never leave Taylor Swift's side.
It was Luke Gedecki. Remember that name? Luke Gedecki. He's the starting tackle for the Bucks right now, and I think he actually scores pretty well, if I'm not mistaken.
And that wasn't last year's draft, but the year before.
No, the year before. Yeah.
Got it. Good stuff. So that's someone. Did he go in the first round, Jacob?
Nah, I think he went in the third or fourth, maybe.
And the whole reason I asked that is because, it kind of feels like this hot train has peaked with Gray Zabel. Don't be surprised if he slips out of the first round.
Right.
So. I see what you're laughing at, Tim. That's it. We're done. Everyone have a wonderful evening. We appreciate you hanging out with us. Special shout out, Mike Witt. You're too generous, buddy. Thank you for all the super chats, man. Everybody else in the chat, thank you guys. Thanks to the Patreon group.
It's a lot of fun.
Hit that like, hit that sub, definitely. We like I said, man, we're we're cranked up here in the off season. It's going to start to pick up big time now. What we'll probably do is try to taper back to one show a day. And because I feel like we had a lot of information tonight. And if we were doing 2 shows a day, we're kind of clawing at information. We don't want to waste people's time. And I know you guys like the multiple shows and everything, but if there's stuff to talk about, if news breaks, yeah, we might go live in the middle of the day when, sometime to break the news. But right now we don't want to put out content just to put out content, but we will be committed to doing 1 show a day for the most part. So again, thank y'all for your time. Tim, Emilio, Jacob, Emilio, thanks for the recommendation on the cinnamon bites, man.
That's what I'm here for.
Excellent choice. This show sucks. Bye.
And we go. Bye, guys.